Oh, yeah. Here we go. How we doing? I hope all is well with my brothers and sisters out there in the world. I hope everything is going okay. But after that, all serious business. So, when you have friends like these, who needs foes? And I'll explain that. We won't get caught down on any one in particular person or subject matter. We just need to be reminded that if you have an ally or a so-called allied force that works in such a way that they claim that they're oblivious or that they're not aware of what they do, but they affect you. All is well, bro. It's going okay, man. I just wanted to just speak to the level, man. I hope y'all seen the thumbnail of the dude Daniel Cameron, right? Now I want y'all to recognize this. We have so many folks who attach themselves to the struggle of Black people. Some of them who look just like us come from other places, right? And so sometimes we forget that with friends like those, you don't with friends like these or friends like those or friends like this, you don't need foes. Who needs foes? Because you have someone who will undermine your entire struggle while trying to act as if they understand your struggle. It's a complete insult. On top of that, what we're all dealing with is a major crisis in this country. You see, there's a crisis of conscience with most Black people, and they really want to. They're trying to see themselves. Where will I be? Where will my bloodline be? Where will everything be in set amount of time? And I just can't help but to think that because they don't know that the friends they have built up their ways to be so adversarial, counterintuitive, and counterproductive in their own endeavors, that they in turn either bring you down or hold you back or get you killed. I'm sure to say last year, all the people who were getting gunned down unrighteously, that many of them were killed by people who they thought were their friends. My case in point is that as bad as the police are, with friends like these, who needs the police as an enemy? Because you got somebody who's around you right now who secretly harbors hate and ill will towards you. See, this is something that people don't even talk about because they're afraid to touch on the subject matter because they might be around somebody who has ill will or hate towards them. And they're afraid to speak up. I can't blame them. Is that my way of going about things? No, but I can't blame them. I can't fault them for being afraid of the naturally obvious thing, which is that the persons or person that you have around you, for better or for worse reasons, because you accept their flaws. We all go by the standard that no one's perfect. Sure, we understand this. But because of that standard, how you doing, brother? Because of that standard, we sometimes will abandon all of our other good reasoning and good sense. So I'll give you a prime example. I used to know a guy who had a CDL license, right? Commercial driver license. And he had the Class A. It's a brother. And he could drive cross country, do whatever he wanted. Now, here's the thing. He ended up losing his job, but still had his license. Now, there was another gentleman that he knew for a long time that used to deal with him. And I literally watched frame by frame their relationship and their friendship sour over, once again, friends like these. So whatever caused the man to lose his job, I'm thinking is what caused for these two to fall out. Like you not getting there at all. You know what I mean? As opposed to just getting there late. You just doing your own thing and doing what you want to do. Hey, stranger things have happened. But having said that, the man who helped the other man to get the truck that he needed, to get the rig that he needed, it was pretty much a slap in the face of the other gentleman, because he's like, so now that you have what you think you need, now you don't want to do the stuff that I want to do that I know is going to bring in the money, because you don't want to drive that far, or you don't want to deal with, you know what I mean, these types of roads. Whatever the situation is that the people believe to be justified to not carrying out the end of the bargain. Once again, though, a person like that will make you want to hurt him. See what I'm saying? They'll put you in a position where you didn't harbor, you had no type of ill will before that. But now I can't really deal with you on a making money level. I still love you, but I can't really deal with you like that because I want to hurt you right now. So we're going to have to just chill and be cool. And that's how, once again, this is how these situations where people had an argument and out of nowhere guns were pulled and somebody gets killed, this is how it happens, okay? Because somebody put some money up, the other person didn't come through on their end, didn't try their hardest, didn't do their damnedest, their best to make that happen. So now this other person is eating a loss, or at best they're breaking even. And so now they're like, man, this person wasted my time and all my energy, and all that was for naught. So when you have friends like that, who needs foes? You have friends like that. When you have an ally, okay, who claims that your allegiance is based on a mutual understanding. I'll give you one for prime example. So we all say that we believe in the Most High God, right? Bam. We can't go into the restaurant and start eating pork, y'all, and shrimp and crab and all that kind. If you follow what I'm saying, and catfish and all that kind of stuff, like there has to be a do you believe or don't you believe, type thing. And because we are all on the same level, at least I believe we all see it the same way. I'm not talking about the scripture. I'm talking about overall conduct. Okay, there's a certain way you're supposed to carry yourself. I believe what's written is fairly clear to all of us. So having said that, there are things in friendships, interrelationships, whatever you want to call the type of relationship, right? Where they're understood on a mutual basis. We're not supposed to do this because we understand that. Look, y'all, the same reason why Dr. King was killed is the same reason why the Messiah was killed. Is because the circle, even though it was tight, okay, the link, whatever you want to say, even though it held strong, there's always a weak spot in the structure that can be compromised or it can be had. And when you have friends like these, you don't really need foes. See, it did the Messiah no good to have the elders, the chief priest, okay, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, the Sadducees to an extent, the Pharisees to a much larger extent, at his neck, and then to have people who are within his own actual social circle who can't stand him. Right. I.e. a blood brother that literally gives you up for like 30 pieces of silver. I.e. another man who was a rich fisherman before you ever stopped his endeavors, right? And trying his best to get back to that. However, because people don't humanize the situation where it can just be understood on a real base level, so where it's just two people or three people in this instance as we're talking, right? It's just three people, and this person felt this way, and this person felt this way, but this is what this person was doing to make this come about. We don't have to get carried away into the so-called religious aspect. We can just talk about the actual physical situation that played out. There's nothing divine about people smashing nails through your hand or hanging you from a tree. There's nothing divine about that, okay? It's just pain and discomfort. That's it. Pain and disappointment. So it was no less painful. And I get tired of the freaking theories about Martin. Here's the thing. Whether Martin Luther King was shot from underneath the stairs or shot from across the way, they still shot him, still killed him. So what difference does it make? Right. It's no less painful. They no less shot his head off from wherever they were at. Thank you very much. And it's that kind of thing that I don't know if my brothers and sisters understand. With friends like that, you don't think that somebody in the direct inner circle made that happen? Why do y'all always think that? Because I'm always weary and leery about certain people. I'm forever leery about them because there's something about them. There's something about them where it's like there's something they're hiding willfully. And maybe everyone else's eyes can't see it, but I'm like, my eyes see it just fine. So there's something that they're doing that I find to be in a disturbance. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sit here and hold my tongue and bite my tongue while this person's doing evil and wicked. That's just not going to happen. However, that's where we're at. We're at a level where I'm not sure if brothers and sisters can actively discern the danger that they're in because of the company that they keep. Think about this for just half a moment. Breonna Taylor didn't need the police as an enemy if the man that she's allowing to be with her is going to put her in grave danger. It's already bad enough that the police sometimes lack respectable discernment, circumspect, and wisdom. Okay? All right? That's already distasteful. It's even more distasteful when a person puts you in a position where those who do distasteful things already in their basic happenstance now have a bona fide reason, have bona fides, a legitimate reason, an authentic reason, a genuine cause to defend themselves. If any one of you right now would have a gun and let somebody to shoot at you and you would not shoot back, you're not fit to own what is called a firearm because it serves you no purpose. Thank you very much. Having said that, it does us no good to have friends like Daniel Cameron, who he skated a fine line in his life. He's probably got to persecute and prosecute almost or just as many white people as he has black people, given the state that he lives in. So race is almost never a factor, he can claim. But that's the same loose shoestring argument that all black immigrants have. That it's not all the way about. There are certain things that actually, sure, I could say that there's character or content of character that is more pertinent in a matter than a person's actual genetic structure. But to tell me that their genome doesn't play a part in how they perceive the information that they're receiving, man, you're out your mind. So you can't tell me that a person who's Chinese heard rap music for the first time and appreciated it or felt the same way that black people felt about it hearing it for the first time. You just can't convince me of that. I'm not convinced. I'm not going to be convinced. So when it's like that, I just have to keep it in my mind and say, okay, you know what, Meech? That's right. These are your people, cuz they know better, but they act like they don't know better. You know what I'm saying? All y'all know better. Every single one of y'all know better. All my people know better. That's the difference between black people and the other people. Is that the other people really might not know better, and y'all see it every time. Where you're like, yeah, they're racist, but I don't really think they actually understand. That's the cold part. See, you understand these fine minutia concepts, and you override them in your own mind for the sake of a paycheck. Daniel Cameron is no different. He overrode the things that he knew, he knows this is not right. Had that been his sister, he'd have persecuted those dudes to the fullest extent of the law. Think I'm playing? Wouldn't even been a question. Probably wouldn't even been able to prosecute the case. See what I'm saying? And he would have been begging whoever to go full throttle. Think I'm joking? Nope. But with friends like that, who needs enemies when they won't even go full throttle for you and they claim to be your friend? But they're only going to go full throttle for themselves. Who needs enemies? Who needs anyone that hates them when you have friends like that? We're in trouble. I'm going to spark this up and talk to y'all and chop it up for a couple more minutes, and then I'm out. Because this is a real one, y'all. I don't know if y'all really understand. There's a lot of black people. So, let me break it down to you. Who needs enemies if the fruit of Islam, the same people you pay security for, will shoot you in the back of your head or bomb your car? Right. You think Malcolm X needed that in his life? Huh? You think right. You think he needed that in his life? Anybody like that? What about my man, Fred Hampton? Right. Y'all can say cousin. Y'all can say whoever. It don't matter. They murdered that young brother. Got him up out of there. You don't need, who needs friends like that? When you, skin, man. Saying? With friends like that, nigga, you don't never need no motherfucking enemies. Not one. Because even if they're not an active enemy or a passive enemy, they'll do things that will get you killed or get you hurt and put you all the way out the game. It's a fact. Look, man. Let me tell y'all something. I was 20 years old, right? It's about to be 21. And I remember there was a cat I was kicking it with. He was from Jersey, right? This brother called himself Chaos. I don't know what these niggas be going through. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this brother was a good brother, good at heart. But he used to do too much. And we're not even talking about actual physical chaos. We're talking about just tearing stuff up, y'all. See, me, I'm the kind of brother where if somebody give me the keys, because I have them, you undoubtedly have the keys. Can you dig that? That's how I'm rocking. I don't play no games like that. And I remember one time, I was 20 years old. My man Don was like, move my car for me. This is a stick shift. This is before I could really drive a stick like that. I didn't want to tear nothing up, so I was like, my homeboy was like, I can drive a stick. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. Get in the car. This nigga breaks the key in the ignition. Oh, my goodness. Why am I listening to you, nigga? You call yourself Chaos. The first thing you do is tear some stuff up. We get it, you know what I'm saying? Doing nothing. My people's is a little upset with me, but we get the key out of there and blah, 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 blah. I give them some money later on to get the key replaced and all that. But just a whole bunch of fuckduggery, you know, where who needs enemies if you have people like that around you? Where you're like, because I'm trying to show you love, man. I'm trying to put you where I'm at. And here you are doing stupid shit. And you'll put me in a position where I look dumb. So now I got to dig myself out of a small hole and show niggas like, no, I'm totally competent, but I couldn't do that. You know, like, I'd rather you tear my car up than this person that did this. But it's like, you say that, it's much easier to replace this key than it is to replace your clutch. Car was never turned over, so it didn't even matter. See what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. People don't know. I've had all kinds of things happen in my life. Crazy, stupid little things. You know, you don't need enemies, nigga, when you have friends like that. You just don't. When you got people like that around you who will do shit like that, you don't need nobody. Look, man, let me tell you something about some gangster shit. See, look, let me just talk about it, right? So I'm at the stand one night, right? And it's me, it's Lloyd, and it's Cricket. Now, Cricket, I already know Cricket's schedule. Cricket's like, I'll be back. I'm gonna help you set up. I might kick it for a little bit, then I'm gonna roll out and I'm gonna come back. Lloyd, you don't really know, okay? Lloyd might show up for the setup. If you pay Lloyd too much money because you had a good day, Lloyd might not come back for the breakdown because Lloyd might not tell you, like, I already made $30. So now I'm at 40, 50. I'm about to get high for the rest of the night. You feel me? On some of Seattle's finest, whatever it may be. And you won't be seeing me. He's not going to say that to you, but that's the ordeal. Y'all know how many nights I was out there and I was waiting for somebody to come help me break down, and I might have almost had to shoot somebody in the face. And I'm like, man, if one of these niggas was here, I would have already been done loading this shit up. I wouldn't even be going through this situation right now. But because they're not, and I ended up extending myself right on more than I would normally would. Now I have, you see what I'm saying? Like there are so many dangers that I used to face being in Pioneer Square, because you can never trust these dudes. You can never put your full faith and confidence in a person who's on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Now you can most definitely show them some real love, but you can't trust that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. That's just bottom line, and that's something that you learn. But it's like you don't even need enemies if you have people like that who are supposed to help. So if they'll set me back, an enemy will surely set me back on purpose. But these are supposed to be people who are supposed to be with you. So you got to understand. It's deeper than that. Let me break one down to y'all. The police weren't my foes per se, right? Like I didn't make an outward proclamation towards them, like there's a I'm drawing my line in the sand type shit. That never took place between me and SPD. So when I got the ERPO placed on me, when all that shit happened, like I tell y'all, total surprise, complete utter surprise, because I'm like, I thought we was on better terms than that. Apparently not. But so when that takes place, right? Who needs to be worried about somebody trying to do harm to you when the police will put you in a position for you to not even be able to adequately or legally defend yourself, less as dire circumstances? You see what I'm saying? So that way, right? So now you're in a position where you're like, if I defend myself to the fullest level, they're going to think there's something wrong with me, or they're going to think that I'm, you know what I mean? Like I'm a madman. Because the way I'm going to have to defend myself is not, I don't have a gun to pull on you. You see what I'm saying? I'm pulling a big ass sword on you, a nice sharp sword on you. It's way different. So what it's going to look, the optics are going to look way different for me than it would for me to shoot somebody, because everybody's conditioned for people to get shot. They're not conditioned for people to get smashed with a sword. It's the way to understand what I'm saying. So who needs enemies when the police are supposed to be protecting and serving you? Who needs enemies when they'll do stuff like that? You see what I'm saying? Where they'll put you in a position where if a person who actually wishes to do me bodily harm and I have to harm them, if the optics don't look right, now I have to explain what took place. Whereas if it's a normal situation that people are already mentally conditioned to, right? I don't have to worry about that, because guess what? They're already conditioned to that. You don't need enemies when you have friends or so-called allies, someone who's supposed to be in a favorable position for you to place you all the way back. You never need anyone, okay, who literally is pointing a gun at you if the person behind you has a gun and they'll shoot you in the back of the head. Right. Not even on purpose, just blasting because they're stupid and got no good sense. It's that type of stuff. Do y'all not know how real it is? Once again, I was trained to do this type of shit. It's way different for me. So I just look at people and I just be like, they don't even know. Right on. I don't need a gun to train using a gun. I can most definitely do that in my head. I can most definitely do that just playing a video game, literally. You know what I'm saying? Which is the whole point of video games and video game simulation. They don't call them simulators anymore, but all games are simulators. Every single one of them. They all simulate something. So if I want to practice proper sight alignment, I can just play a video game. Only thing I can't practice is breathing control and trigger control. But I can practice natural point of aim, well, to the degree that it's in the game. I can practice correct sight alignment, correct sight picture, just fine. No problem. So it's just like one of those things. It's like, you know what I mean? If you know what's going on, if you already have the knowledge, you don't need to go do all the other stuff. Right. It's okay. They're going to try to kill us, y'all. The ones that y'all think are your friends. I don't know if they're your neighbors or your coworkers or who. Family, close friends. They're going to try to get us up out of here. Because they're going to be thinking they're doing the right thing come that day. Right. What happens if these fools just all of a sudden decide that they want to denounce the Most High God? Say that religion has brought us nothing but war and agony and this, that, and the other. When the Most High God is not religion. Saying? See, Daniel Cameron don't even realize he's supposed to be black people's, you're supposed to be us. Man, we don't need no enemies if you got a guy like him playing footsies with somebody's daughter or niece or whoever who has a place in legislation for the nation. Come on, man, that's crazy. Don't even make sense. But you want me to believe that friends like these aren't worse than the enemies sometimes? They got to be. They have got to be. Deeper than y'all ever know. You know, I had to put my stuff on education. They want to try to call it peoples and blogs. I'm not blogging. I'm educating folks. When I speak, it's almost always. I can't think of too many times where I was like laughy, jokey about anything. It's almost always to educate and to speak about things that I either feel that are less spoken on or people just don't know about at all. Having said that, what I'm saying to y'all right now is some totally bona fide, like, you need to hear this and you need to just listen to it maybe once or twice to really let it register what I'm saying. Let me give y'all another example about somebody who's a friend. And as friends like these, do you really need foes? So I was trying to get a job, right? And this cat tells me, yeah, man, tell him that you know me. Didn't tell me that he was fired from the place. So guess what happens when I go there and I tell him I know this cat? Right. Well, how do you know him? And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then they get kind of adversarial. Like, well, did you know that we actually had to let him go for this, this, and this? And I'm like, no, but I mean, you know, if he worked here and he was a good worker, then I don't see how that should affect me saying that I know him or that he's the one who told it, because he got let go. It's the reason why he told me, apparently, but he didn't tell me that he got let go. See what I'm saying, y'all? It's stuff like that. And it's like, okay, so, and this happened a couple years ago, but it was a kind of silly situation where I end up having to defend somebody, right? I didn't even see it coming, but now I have to defend you because they're trying to talk bad about your persons. And I'm like, well, I've never known them to be like that. So I'm sure something must have happened or transpired that made those chain of events, you know what I'm saying, manifest. And for some odd reason, once again, when you talk to people like that, like I'm telling y'all, these are the kind of things that I say to people. I very rarely get so angry that I'm just using expletives, as they would say, right? And otherwise what you would consider low frequency language. Having said that, though, it doesn't mean that people don't think that I'm full of it. Pretty sure there's plenty of them who think I'm full of it. I don't care, though. See what I'm saying? I have to defend what's right. But with friends like that, though, man, you don't need enemies. Because it's almost like, excuse me, I was set up to not get the job. Whereas a brother could have just told me, yo, man, just go here and apply for the job. And don't tell them that you know me. You know how many times I've put people on and I told them, don't tell them you know me? Even look, because I've been let go from a bunch of different jobs in the last year, right? Going through the court stuff. I was fired from everywhere but one place. You know what I mean? Like everywhere let me go. Whatever. Man, you have to just have such thick skin and it can't even bother you. That's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, and the coronavirus came and struck. And so I'm like, done, done, done. Look at you niggas now. Right. See, it's just weird how life goes. Anyway, let me just go ahead and just give y'all one from my personal life. I put my neck out there, right, for that African dude, right? He was rattled. I bet you that nigga returned every wallet he find now. He don't give a damn who it is. That nigga probably take that shit to the police station now. He rattled after that, because they caught him in the club. He picked up somebody's wallet and they yelped him up. Now, what's funny is that I looked out for him, but my cousin, who claims to be a real black man, see, once again, you can't have it both ways. You see what I mean? Where you can't tell me that, Robert De Niro's married to his sister, or used to be, right? And get excited and talk like that. Like that's something to me where I'm like, a bona fide octoroon is married to a black woman. Big deal. For me, it's like, why not stand up for me? Because I did the right thing and I've done the most for you. You ain't never had nobody who worked with you, okay, who did what I did with you like me. Never. And he told me straight up, this is the best it's been since when he first started. Come on. And got pumped new life into his business, y'all. This is the thanks I get. So I told him. I remember the last time I had seen him at one of the games, I had court. I forget what day it was, but it was a baseball game. It was in October. No, not October, September, late September. The Mariners are trying to play their way in. And I come and get a hot dog or whatever, and I'm eating. And I'm telling my cousin, I say, yo, I said, this might be one of the last seasons that everybody gets to really actually make some money out here. Promise to God, I told this to my cousin. This is 2019. God, kill me now if I'm telling a lie. It's 2019. I don't know nothing about no corona. Nigga, straight up. That's a fact. And I told my cousin, I said, yeah, man. I said, this might be the last time that people really get to make some real money out here. And look, 2020 happened. Some prophetic, at least. But I'm right at best. And, bruh, sis, y'all just gotta understand. When you have people like that around you, it could be a sibling. For some people who are old enough to have grown-up children, it could be your child, okay? It could be your spouse. You know what I'm saying? And this is not no seeds of discord. It's just understanding that you may be in a situation where this person does things and you realize, and they may even realize, like, I always end up doing stuff that puts you back. They don't mean to do it, but they do it. So y'all try to do stuff that makes it to where it doesn't happen, but it still happens. I'm trying to tell you, you don't need enemies when you have friends like that. You just don't. Because they're not always bad people, once again. Some of them have ill intent, but once again, is that a foe? Right. So if you're somebody who actually means well, but you came over to help me mow my lawn, but you mowed it the wrong way, so now it doesn't look right on this side. This side looks good, but this side looks a little funky. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't do the patterns the same. Whatever, whatever, whatever. However it all may play out. It's things like that. All that well-intended. Look, the Nation of Islam probably meant well at one point. Heck, you could even argue Fard Muhammad, dirty white bastard, meant well at one point. But at some point, it became about unmitigated control and power. And at that point, it was no longer about the suffrage or the struggle of Black people. See, Black History Month, and I hate to talk about it. I know people is like, you gonna talk about that or not? Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Black History Month is like a friend that is hurtful and not helpful. Because with a friend like that, for 28 days, the shortest month of the year, by the way, I think the Latino month is longer than if it's any other month, it's longer than February. Okay, so more days to appreciate so-called Latinos than they do so-called Black people. Tells you something about them. Anyway, check this out. This is what y'all got to recognize. We are living in a land where all the things are friends. Well, that's how it's going to be, bro. Look, man, Black History Month is like a slap in the face because let me just go ahead and tell y'all something. Since 1619, Black suffrage has been every day, okay? And Black history has been made every day, loudly and silently. How about that? Kiss my ass, white people. That's a fact. Anyway, you don't need a month that ultimately brings up the fact that you come from in this land. They want your history they want our history to be relegated and antiquated to this land. Nigga, fuck America and fuck them too. Okay? It's that simple. Hope Corona strikes again in this bitch and tear this motherfucker up. Tear it all the way up. Y'all think I'm lying? I don't care. They ain't did nothing for me. There are no way that listen, I've said all these things to say this. Again, the problem is not the solution. Black people, if you admit that you come from the seed of people who are betrayers, by and large, to the Most High God, you are not the solution. If you're telling me that these so-called white people, really Gentiles, are the cause for all your pain and discomfort here, okay? They're the cause for your trepidation. Check this out. If they're the problem, they're not the solution. The only one that has not been the problem, come on, is the only one you won't ask to come save you. pathetic. Who needs friends like these? I don't need any kind of enemies. With people like that in the same genetic root structure as I need not one enemy. Do you understand me? Do y'all follow that? Now, who respects that one? Huh? With people like that in our gene structure, who needs one enemy? They'll turn on the Most High God. They will turn on the creator of everything. You don't need anyone. You need not one foe. And this is the problem. Because they will listen, one of these days, the things that I'm saying right now are going to be almost banned. It's coming. It's coming. They want everybody to hold hands, y'all. We all supposed to be friends here. Right? We all supposed to be, in cahoots. Man, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. And the Most High God has put us all in a position where we could be responsible, but we just choose not to. Right. Who needs any enemies if your allies are people that, for all intents and purposes, they hate the Most High God in their own way? You follow what I'm saying? You get what I mean? Like, they actually hate him. And they don't even know it. They couldn't know. They've never known the Most High God. So how could you know you hate him? Big whoop there, huh? Because our people lack the most common discernment. See, true wisdom is such a basic thing that it seems amazing. But to anybody that assesses and possesses any form of wisdom, they realize that wisdom is actually basic. It's actually really simple. It's just knowing what and how to do at the same time when it matters the most. That's what it is. But we've got folks in the ranks, y'all. They may know how to do something, but they don't know what to do. They may know what to do, but they don't know how to do it. And because they're not willing to capitulate that they should play a lesser role or a mitigated role, at least. This is why Black people don't have anything. This is why we don't have anything right now. We're stuck because we have a group with us. We have subclasses within our rank and within our structure who would see all of us die, that maybe one of them become the first likened to our enemies. I'll give you an example. If one of these white guys become a trillionaire in the next couple of years, right? What would a person like Jay-Z, who I don't even think is our people, but what would he do to Black people? What would he not be willing to do to Black people to become the first Black trillionaire in his life if it was possible? What level of selling out you think he's willing to do? Right. It's cats like him who are dangerous. The Black dude who was trying to buy into Comcast or whatever, the gay Black dude, billionaire dude. Right? See what I'm saying? I can't expect anyone to respect what I say. I don't even care if they respect it. It doesn't even matter because they think that they got it already down pat. They're like, I'm good. And I made whatever thousands a year, right? House is almost paid for, 2 cars, almost 3 cars paid for, children's college money put away, My children are passing in all their classes. Everybody healthy, family good, everything good. Life is good. But they don't realize that they got people around them who they think are their friends, who, with a friend like that, you think you need any enemies? And they know they do too. See, this is the problem. But they're so, that friend like that might be one of the reasons why their life is so good. So they're not willing to cut ties with someone like that, because guess what? If they do, they stop making the chicken, right? So I'll allow this person who sometimes, so now you're on a counterintuitive mission where you try to realize what they're gonna do and try to counteract it before they do it, but that don't even work because they still manage messes something up, or they put you in a position where you're compromised. That's a fact. I tell no lies right now. Brothers and sisters, man, if I could just tell y'all the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, that'd be it. It's a very concern-worthy cause to speak about that most people don't recognize. It's not just, oh, the Most High God's telling you that, you know, that there's going to be father versus son and daughter versus mother and daughter versus mother-in-law. It's not just that, right on. It's you realizing that there's other folks out there who have wickedness in their heart, and they don't think it's wickedness. Okay, they're like, man, I'm just capitalizing on. I'm just an opportunist. But you're talking about the worst kind of opportunist. So you're not an equal opportunist where you look to do the things that you can do the right, wrong, or indifferent equally. No, you look to capitalize only when you're actually suited to gain something. When you're in a position to come all the way up, now you want to act like, you know, now you're an opportunist. No, that's wickedness. And you'll try to talk people down or beat down the price or whatever. You see what I'm saying? You know, over finagle with someone as opposed to giving them what's fair. And then go and brag that you pretty much beat someone out of a fair price and then call them out their name. Right. Stupid mother sucker. Don't know nothing. Really? But they asked for the price that was fair. Apparently they know something. No, you're just wicked. See what I'm saying? And they don't get that they're just wicked. They think that, man, that's just opportunity, man, waiting to happen. No, that's wickedness. There's a reason why if people actually practice, if a man were to not, let me just break it down to you. If men didn't go out their way to try to sleep with married women, right? And women that were married didn't go out their way to sleep around, it's impossible for adultery to take place, any form of it. If people practice the level of okay, the same discipline you practice getting a paycheck, if you practice that same kind of sexual discipline, you see what I'm saying? Right. There wouldn't be any kind of level of fornication or anything like that. People need to understand there's a healthy level of human interaction that includes copulation, right on, and it being, you know, in the ultimate level of intimacy, if that's what you want to call it. My whole point being this is that you can't believe that chasing after those things, right, is aligned with or even equal to your survival. You follow what I'm saying? But for some odd reason, your paycheck, right? You think a paycheck is more important than you not catching a venereal disease. That's the kind of level we're dealing with. People like that. They're wicked. They're all the way wicked. They don't even understand they're wicked. They think they're good. They swear on God they're good people. They're like, man, nigga, I'm good. They're like, me and God got a great relationship. Sure. While they eat swine chops. You feel me? Right? While they eat shrimp stuffed in crab. You know what I mean? With clams and oysters all around it. Eating totally unclean. Look, y'all, I know it seems like I'm just tripping and like I'm just on, but I'm really not. I'm just in the level of I don't know what else to say to y'all other than you have people around you who you may even care about. Some of them you don't care about for sure, but a lot of them you have some sort of tangible relationship with, right? Right. Where you've come together. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? Right. So if you've pulled together like that, if you've boom pulled together like that for on whatever level, now abdicating, extricating, obfuscating, right on. You get what I mean? Right? That person from your life to free them, to exonerate them from your life, okay? It's much more difficult. When you don't care, it's easy. When they hold no bearing to the way that you live right now, it's easy. See, woe to them that depart from wicked. I'm saying from wickedness. Right. Man, listen, if you leave the bad stuff alone, you better believe that either the bad people that you were with were going to either, once again, these are people you call friends. Did you not? Right. No matter how bad they were, you called them your friends. You can't stress that word enough, or what it actually means, or what it could mean or imply. Grown folks need to grow up because in their minds they believe that their friends can't be worse than their foes. See, in the Marine Corps, they taught us no greater friend, no worse than enemy, right? I try to apply this the best way I can, but we all have our favorites. We are people that we favor. If you favor someone that puts you in positions that are unfavorable, guess what? You see what I'm saying right now? That it's so vicious. It's not just it's not just realizing that you have wicked people all around you all the time. It's just like you being able to say, okay, they're wicked, but to what level? Are they all the way wicked? Are they all the way gone? You see what I'm saying? Is there anything to them that I can pretty much see or perceive, and that makes that difference? And I'm serious right now, y'all, because Joe Biden gonna go. Who told y'all before anybody else? I listen. Who told y'all he was gonna go after white supremacy? He never brought it up during his run. Right on. They never like we're gonna take white supremacy. None of that stuff. Listen, your boy told you he was gonna do that. I didn't know when, how. I just told y'all it was gonna happen, and I knew it was gonna happen soon. Did I not? Okay, notice why they stress that black people put Joe Biden in the office. Come on, man, with friends like these, who needs enemies? Because if your enemies are angry white people who were mad that Trump didn't win, hell, let's say the world has a pseudo turnaround in healing. You think any of them are going to be feeling y'all? Or those votes that you had or casted, didn't cast? Mm, it's worth asking. It's worth asking, because then what happens if those friends like that turn the people onto you? They turn your actual enemies onto you. They turn your foes right onto you inadvertently, while seeming to try to do the right thing. You can only do so much until people push back. Excuse me. That's just what it is. So I'm waiting for white people to have taken all that they can take from these niggas. And then we'll see who the ultimate warriors really are. There's so many black people who are going to make it, but there's a lot who really aren't, and they're going to die by the hands of other black people. Mm. So again, with friends like that, who needs any one enemy? Do you guys really actually need someone who's gonna turn you over to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, so that way they can hand you up to the Romans, so that way they can smash nails through your hands, huh? Onto the best wood that they got? Is that what anybody needs? Right. I need y'all to understand. We all get what we deserve in our own way. If Dr. King knew that the people were the children of Israel and never spoke that and never manifested that out of his mouth, shame on him. He got what he deserved in his own way. Because I'm quite sure he knew that. There's a lot more evidence that says that Dr. King knew that black people were Israelites than that he didn't know that. That's how smart he was back then. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people can't even perceive that about Dr. King. Listen to his words. Listen to how he refers to black people on many different occasions as the children of God. Okay. Okay. Wonder where he got that from. Wonder why he would call them the children of God in particular with so much vehement passion. With the friends like that he had around, he didn't need no enemies either. Because they didn't understand. Because all of them were not what? People who were brought here on boats. Some of them were from stock that were indigenous and native to the land. Therefore, they don't feel any of that genetic struggle. They only feel the struggle that is on this land. It's deep. Friends like these, y'all don't really need foes, because you don't understand that some of your friends were people that you would have never even been around had our people actually done right. You 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 can't depend on people whose ancestors betrayed the Most High God. This is what I'm saying. You can't depend on them to do the right thing. They're not the answer. The answer is the Most High God, and they have to ask Him to forgive them first. First, they have to admit what they've done is wrong, and they need to say what they've done. They need to speak on the exact moments of what they've done and speak to the occasion and admit it. That's the only way. Confess their sins to the Most High God and only to Him, and then repent. Then in that moment, and then ask to be saved. You can only you can't tell me that speaking right now is the same frequency as when somebody is crying or when they're in laughter. You follow what I'm saying? Laughter is its own frequency. Crying and the tears are their own frequency. So whatever frequency needs to be achieved by the people for the Most High God to come back and save us, obviously, clearly has not been achieved by the people. It's evident. Look where we're still at. This isn't a magic or hocus pocus thing, y'all. It's just as scientific as the iPhone that you have. It's just as scientific as the Android that you have. Only it's older, So the understanding of its mechanisms are not as clear. But what is clear that it is a frequency that we must tap into. See, I'm a friend of yours, a true friend of the people, foe to all those who hate the Most High God, advertently and inadvertently. But I love those who love him, and I hate those who hate him. It's just that simple. Because he won't come down and kick your faces in himself. I pray that he send his tens of thousands of saints to do it soon. So that way all may understand the mercy that was bestowed upon them for all these thousands of years, and to know that he could have done that at any moment. He could have put an end to it all at any moment, and he waited them out because he is the God of glory. That, my friends, see, once again, if the Most High God is your enemy, okay, who needs friends like that? Don't play with me, y'all. He's coming. And he's not coming for scalps. He's coming for souls. The other S word. Saying that, I got a couple more minutes and then I'm done. If you give all that you have unto your friends just for them to set you back and to put you in places that you never should have been, you are the fool. It is your fault. It is not their fault. It is not their fault. It is your fault. You be held to blame for the causes that go on in your life because you don't have the good sense to either separate yourself or to mitigate the level of activity this individual will have in your life. You just can't go. You can't be like that. It's impossible that you'll live a long life, and it's more impossible that you'll live a productive life. Productive, i.e., doing the things that fulfill you at the spiritual level. So that's not just building with your hands, but it's actually truly being able to just look at the creations that are life and appreciate them for what they actually are, because they are so magnificent. But yet you see it all the time, so you can't. There's no way for a person to relish in the beauty of tree bark if they've never. But for a person who's never seen that, for a person who's never seen a tree, for a person who's never seen grasses of green fields, it's the loveliest thing. All of it is lovely because it's all life, and they understand that. So what I'm trying to say to you, brothers and sisters, is that don't allow for the friends to not show you who your foes are, because I would hate for you to be an enemy of the Most High God. Can you dig that? Whew. With friends like that, y'all, who needs him as an enemy? I salute you. And with that, I pray that you have an excellent weekend, a blessed weekend. I pray that this next week was better than this last week. And as we get closer to the end that I perceive is coming, it's only with this, literally only a handful of years, no matter what, each way I see in my mind them being able to roll this dough anymore. But White Heaven 2024, oh my goodness. It's going to be 2024 with the question mark at the end. We're going to really break it down. And White Heaven 2024, y'all, it's going to be me talking about if they're really in these labs trying to recreate the things of old, it will be no surprise that this land of Babylon gets overrun with monsters and satyrs and things like that. Don't worry, it's deep. Don't worry, it's deep. It's deep. It's deep. It's going to get scriptural and historical. And I will be pointing out how the Grecians and the Romans have played a major factor, even almost to this day. The so-called Romans being the Catholic Church, okay, and the Grecians, the Greeks being more of the the traditional Latin and not the improvised Latin that is used sometimes. But don't worry, I'm going to break all into all these things. I'm going to get all into all these things. And we're going to talk about how our ancestors spoke Latin. That's the actual language. The Greek, when thou speakest Greek, right? Don't worry. We're going to break it all down how we actually spoke Latin back in the day. And that's why that's a common language to us. That's why learning Spanish and things like that is fairly easy to Black people. Don't worry, because I'm going to break it all down. It's deep. Anyway, y'all, I salute you again. I love you. And I can't wait. Y'all can't wait. I can't wait. Be good, y'all.